Good morning, first grade friends. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, and I'm actually in a different room of my house. I'm in my kitchen because today is such a beautiful day outside. It was too hard for me to work down in my basement where there's not a lot of light. So today I got a new book when I went to school yesterday to work on packets, and it's called Franklin and His Friends. I'll read this one to you. Franklin had lots of good friends and a best friend named Bear. He also had a friend named Otter who had moved away. Franklin and Otter sent each other birthday cards and photographs, but they hadn't seen each other for a long time. Then one day, a very special letter arrived for Franklin. Otter was coming to visit. Franklin hurried to Bear's house with his news. "Guess what?" he exclaimed. "Otter's coming to stay with her grandma this week." "Hooray," said Bear. "Remember the old days when we used to slip and slide down the riverbank?" Franklin asked. "Gee, Franklin," replied Bear, "nobody does that anymore." "Well, I bet Otter will want to," said Franklin. On his way home, Franklin stopped by the pond. He told Beaver about Otter's visit. "Remember all the swimming races we used to have?" Franklin asked. "I bet Otter can't wait to race us again." "Otter is captain of a swim team now," replied Beaver. "She won't want to race us slowpokes." "Yes, she will," Franklin insisted. Beaver rolled her eyes. When he got home, Franklin went to his room. He searched and searched through his toy box, under his dresser, and in his closet. Then he called his mother. "Where are my blocks?" he asked. "You gave them to Harriet," she answered. "You said you didn't need them anymore." "Well, now I want them back," said Franklin. "Otter and I always played with those blocks." He marched off to Harriet's bedroom. Finally, the big day arrived. Otter was coming for lunch. Franklin sat on the front steps all morning. When is she going to get here?" he said over and over. "I can't wait." And suddenly there was Otter walking through the gate. There's Franklin and there's Otter. Franklin and his family gave Otter a big hug and a big welcome. His parents asked her lots of questions about her new home. Franklin got out the food. "We made happy face sandwiches just for you," he said. "I thought those were for Harriet," said Otter. "They're your favorite," Franklin reminded her. Otter laughed. "That was ages ago." She took a sandwich from the grown-up plate. Franklin frowned. After lunch, Franklin suggested they play with his blocks. "Remember all the castles we used to build?" he asked. Otter nodded and followed Franklin to his bedroom. Harriet was already there. She had all the blocks in her lap. "Mine," she said. "I guess blocks are for babies," said Otter. "I guess," Franklin mumbled. Franklin and Otter went outside to play. "Do you still go to the pond?" asked Otter. "Of course I do," said Franklin. "Let's go." "Everyone will be there." Franklin was right. They got to the pond and the whole gang was excited to see Otter. Beaver wanted to know how many swimming medals Otter had won. Franklin suggested that they have a race. "Oh, Franklin," said Beaver, "Otter's too good a swimmer for us now." But Franklin was already in the pond. Otter jumped in beside him. "Ready, set, go," cried Bear. Otter was across the pond before Franklin had swum 3 strokes. "Told you so," said Beaver. Everyone laughed, even Franklin. Franklin climbed out of the pond. "Let's play baseball," he suggested. "I haven't played baseball since I moved," said Otter. "I won't be any good." Sure enough, Otter struck out on all her turns at bat, and she didn't catch a single ball heading her way. "I don't want to play anymore," said Otter. Franklin looked at Otter and sighed. Just then, Otter's grandma came to get her. "Will you play with me tomorrow, Franklin?" Otter asked. "I guess so," replied Franklin. Otter left and Franklin walked home alone. He muttered, "We sure didn't play much today." Franklin stomped into his house. "Otter's no fun anymore," he announced. He told his mom about his afternoon. His mother gave him a hug. "You've both grown up a bit," she told him. "You've both changed." "Does that mean we can't be friends anymore?" Franklin asked. "Maybe," replied his mother. "Or maybe you can find a new way to stay friends." Said Franklin. The next morning, Franklin called Otter bright and early. "If you still lived in Woodland," Franklin told her, "you'd be a really good baseball player by now." Then he added, "I'm going to teach you, so every time you visit, you can play on my team." "Okay," agreed Otter, "and I'm going to teach you to be a faster swimmer. That way, every time I visit, you can race me." The two friends smiled at each other. Franklin and Otter spent the day racing in the pond and hitting balls out of the park. "Today was fun," said Franklin. "And it was fun yesterday remembering all the things we used to do together," Otter said. "It was?" asked Franklin. Otter nodded. "But I remember something I guess you've forgotten," she said. Otter grabbed Franklin's hand and pulled him up to the top of the hill. And together the two friends went sliding and slipping down the riverbank and into the water. Franklin laughed. It was just like the old days. Okay, friends, and I will read you some more tomorrow.